All right. It looks like we are live, and just notice that I'm already messing up because I've been running around trying to get onto this live stream, and then I ended up forgetting to close the door. So give me one moment while I get my life together here, and we can get started with the live stream. All right, so hopefully that was not a bad first impression for people that have just found my channel. For those of you who do not know me, I am Boss Attorney Bri. I run this here YouTube channel, and I am also a licensed California attorney where I practice trademark law and family law. And here on this YouTube channel, we cover celebrity lawsuits, trademark lawsuits, copyright lawsuits, and today we are covering, I guess you would consider it a celebrity lawsuit, because we are going to be talking about the whole Meghan Markle being sued by her own sister for defamation. And so we're going to get into a little bit of what they have going on. We discussed it last stream, and a lot of people were actually interested in this topic, so we decided to fully cover the stream. Now, for those of you who do not know about this Meghan Markle defamation lawsuit, it's basically, and if you don't know who Meghan Markle is, she's an actress, and she's also the Duchess of Sussex. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she's married to Prince Harry, okay? She's married to the royal family, and that recently happened. Now her sister had come out with some books and things like that, and basically Meghan may have or may have not hinted that her sister is likely clout chasing and just trying to be in the public because of her relationship with Prince Harry. Now the sister is saying that the things that Meghan said about her regarding that should be found to be defamation. So we're going to jump into that case. It was voted the highest for a case for us to cover. And so we're going to cover it up. But before we get into that, I just want to get into the chat and say hi to the people that are here on time, because I was here a little late. And I'm usually on time. I'm never really late, but since I've been doing this YouTube stuff, I'm late to my YouTube. But that could just be because I run my business and stuff. So we have Jennifer Miller, a member and a moderator here on the channel, saying hi everyone watching my ads. Yes, we talked about that live last stream. If you want to support the channel, a good way to do that is just to watch the ads at the beginning or in the middle of the videos. If you're watching this on the replay, it helps out the channel. It helps me earn a couple of cents a day, a couple of dollars a day. So thank you so much, Jennifer. We have Isabella saying hello, Bri. Hello, and welcome to the live stream. Yes, we're gonna party on this case. Okay, we have Tanya D, another member and moderator of the channel, always here to support as well, saying hey, Bri and Beehive, or Beehive with the B emoji, but I can't see it over here on StreamYard, but that's okay. It's over there on the YouTubes. All right, we have Harper Polo. Welcome back to the live stream, saying hello. We have Tanya D saying thanks for watching the ads. LOL, I'll watch mine too. Yes, you guys are supporting the channel in the best way possible, which includes YouTube giving me some coins, right? Okay, we have Harper Polo saying her sister is a mad hater. Hey, this is basically what she's claiming, or what she kind of insinuated. And we talked about it a little bit last stream, like, okay, what is she possibly saying was defamatory about her? Well, I have the complaint, and we're going to talk about what she is saying that was actually defamatory towards her. And you guys let me know whether you think those are defamatory statements. I think that Meghan Markle's attorneys really came correct when they made their arguments about this is not defamation. This is considered an opinion. This is considered, it's not necessarily false as long as the meaning of the statement is true. So that wouldn't be defamation. So we're going to get into all of that. One of the documents I did not have a chance to go over before we got on the stream, so I don't know if we're going to cover her most recent motion to dismiss that was filed on June 17th. We have Sage Moon saying, hey, Bri, hey, Beehive, hello, and happy Friday Eve, everyone. Yes, we have made it through another week. We are on Thursday, and we're going into the holiday weekend. So let me know if you guys are going to watch the fireworks, if you're going to set off your own fireworks, or if you're going to like leave the fireworks alone. Let me know what you guys are doing if you are celebrating the Independence Day of America, 4th of July. And we have Jennifer Miller saying, you're the boss here. You can be late. Right. I was convincing myself that as I was eating strawberry covered pretzels because I needed a snack before jumping on the stream. It's like, hey, you can be late when you're your own boss, right? But I hate to keep the peeps waiting. All right, we have KK saying, I'm curious on what's going on in this case. And we're going to jump right into it. We have a lot. We have a lot to cover. And we have Tanya D say, make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Exactly. I always forget to say that, but luckily I have great moderators that remind us, if you have not hit the like button and you are here watching live or watching on the replay, make sure to hit the thumbs up because it helps the channel out in the algorithm. And we have Alpha Berry, my fiance. A lot of my chat knows this man, and he's saying hello cookies, which is his nickname for me. He just texted me and I'm like, I'm going live. So now he's here live watching me. So thank you for joining in, honey. All right. And we have Jennifer Millen saying, hey, Alpha, good to see you. Yeah, we haven't seen him in the chat in a while, right? We have not seen him in the chat in a while. So we're happy to have you here, fiance. And we have Smasadi saying, do all the YouTube things, hit the like button and subscribe. Exactly. If you have not done the things yet, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because I have been on my way to 8,000 for like the last month, guys. So if you are not subscribed, or you found that you were recently unsubscribed, not on purpose, double check and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so we can see if we can get to 8,000. Well, it's the end of the month right now, so I don't know if we're going to hit it by the end of the month, but let me know, or not let me know. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed and you keep returning, right? All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the first document, which is the original complaint. We have a lot of documents here. I'm thinking somewhere around 100 pages between the 4 motions, or the 4 documents. So I'm going to be skipping around a little bit. So I hope that I can make it make sense while skipping around, but we'll see what happens when we get in there, right? Okay, let's go ahead and check out the first complaint filed by Meghan Markle's sister, who is Samantha, who was the lady that I had hiding behind Meghan Markle on my thumbnail. Petty, but cute, right? Okay, so this is, I think it's big. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Let's fill up the screen. Okay, yeah, I filled up the screen. There we are. All right, so we have this case filed in the Middle District of Florida, Tampa Division, and it's a federal case alleging defamation. And luckily, it's a federal case because that makes it a lot easier to get documents on the cases. All right, so we're going to read a little bit of the introduction, and then we're going to skip down into the good stuff of the actual statements that she is saying is defamatory. And then she goes on to explain why it is defamatory. Now, one thing that I noticed when I was looking through this case and all the documents that have been filed, some of the people mentioned last stream that they wonder who would take this type of case. Well, I think Samantha is on her second lawyer because there was a withdrawal document in there. And then the new complaint looks a lot different than this complaint right here. So I'm not sure exactly when the attorney left in reference to the complaints being filed, but I'm thinking it was somewhere in between. But we can double check by just checking the bottom of the complaints when we're done going through them. Okay, so we have the introduction. Plaintiff, who suffers from multiple sclerosis, I cannot say that word, okay, and is confined to a wheelchair, brings this action for defamation based on demonstrably false and malicious statements made by her half-sister to a worldwide audience, including roughly 50 million people in 17 countries who watched Oprah Winfrey interview with the defendant Meghan Markle and her husband Prince Harry of England. Defendant also published and disseminated false and malicious statements about the plaintiff in New York Times bestselling book Finding Freedom and in many newspapers and media outlets. It goes on to say that Meghan Markle is the Duchess of Sussex, and she married into the royal family in May 2018. Meghan, who was featured with Prince Harry on the cover of Times Magazine annual feature on the world's most influential people, basically trying to establish that whatever she says is going to influence a lot of people in the world, not just America, but people across the world or around the world. Basically, she published and disseminated false and malicious lies designed to destroy plaintiff's reputation and which have subjected plaintiff to humiliation, shame, and hatred on a worldwide scale. Defendant used the powerful resources of the royal family's public relations operations to disseminate and spread lies worldwide about plaintiff and defendant's own father in a premeditated campaign to destroy their reputation and credibility so they could not interfere with or contradict the false narrative and fairy tale life story concocted by defendant. And so you would see some of the similar language that we saw going over the articles that we went over on Tuesday. So that was just a brief introduction about who Samantha is and who Meghan Markle is. She goes on to say some other things, and these are the main ones that she points out in the beginning, but there are like 17 different statements that she claims is defamatory, and we're going to jump right down to that in a minute because these just kind of repeat themselves. So I highlighted them in the beginning, but then realized that they repeat themselves down below. So one of the things that she felt was falsely and maliciously stated was she was the only child. She last saw plaintiff 19 years ago, and before that, 10 years before that. And plaintiff only changed her surname to Markle in her early 50s when Meghan started dating Prince Harry, which I don't know. That's not coming off as defamatory to me at the moment. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to jump into the chat real quick, try to catch some of the chats, and then we're going to go on to what statement she is saying is defamatory. And I'm just trying to find it here before I jump into the chat. So if it looks like I'm looking all off to the side, I am. Okay, we have Jennifer Miller saying, you can also share the stream. I'm going to try to remember to tweet it every time. I remember it tonight. Yes, guys, if you can, just go ahead and share, retweet, Instagram post, whatever. If you enjoy the content and you think some of your followers might enjoy the content, please do. I am super open to you guys sharing that you guys are going to be tuning in live with me. Lady Autumn is from Tennessee. Well, welcome in from Tennessee. We have KK saying, ouch, not a good sign if a lawyer ditching out, or does that happen for reasons other than the case is crap? It could mean a lot of things. I'm thinking that, okay, maybe they just took on the case to apply or to get it in front of the judge and then maybe pass it off to another lawyer. But I'm leaning more towards the fact that it's not a very good case. I don't really know why they did it or why they subbed out. I haven't read the sub out, so I don't know if they gave information on there. Okay, we have Jennifer Miller saying, MS is a nasty disease. My mom is in a care facility because of it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It is hard to deal with. And so I think that makes her a little sympathetic. But if what she's claiming, I don't know. I don't know if I appreciate it, what she's claiming. But I definitely understand that her disease could be very crippling for her, very hurtful for her. And I could see why she would be offended by Meghan Markle even making comments about it, right? And we have Brandy Bradley saying, hi, Bri. So glad I catch the live with the hive. Yes, welcome into the live stream. Happy to have you here. All right. We have who said, Kate, sliding in late. That rhymed. Okay, yeah, I gotta get a nap in at some point. But yes, welcome to the live stream. Who said, Kate, and another moderator on the channel. One thing about the moderators is that they are going to show up to the live stream. Definitely love to see it. We have Jennifer Miller saying, Kate, good to see you. Yes, good to see everyone here. A little bit of chat, a little bit of highs going on. And we're going to jump back into the complaint, which I said I was going to get to the part we need to be at, but I'm not there yet. So let me get there. and then we will jump into the statements. The statements, and this is the part where you guys can get really active in the chat and let me know whether you think it's defamatory. I haven't seen Thomas Brown pop in, so I don't know if he can help us out, or I don't know who can help us out with the different statements in the chat of what she's considering to be defamatory, but they did label it pretty well for us. So if anyone wants to drop in the different statements, I'll try to speak a little slower. I get excited and like to talk a lot, but yeah, we got the statements and they're listed. So if anyone wants to drop them in the chat for us, please feel free to do so, because we know I cannot type and live stream with the mic in between my hand at a fast rate. So here we go. Popping back over, here we are. So these are the statements that Samantha is basically saying was defamatory towards her. It goes on to say, defendant intentionally and with actual malice published the following false and defamatory statements with full knowledge of the falsity thereof and with the specific intent to cause substantial harm and damage to plaintiff's reputation and good name. I believe this one was in the, which one? This one was in the book Finding Freedom, I believe. Yes, for Finding Freedom. And so the other one will be the Oprah Winfrey interview. Okay, so first statement that she is saying is defamatory. She goes on to say Samantha dropped out of high school. And guys, I am just reading the complaint. None of this has been proven to be false or proven to be true. These are just allegations. So do not take this and run with it and say, oh, Meghan was out here saying this, which some of it is in writing and in recording, but you know, it's all allegations at this point. And we don't know if it's defamatory yet. Okay, Samantha dropped out of high school. This is false. In her attempt to discredit Samantha, Meghan implies that Samantha is an uneducated high school dropout, but the truth is that Samantha was seriously injured from a fall from a rope swing, resulting in paralysis on her left side and blindness in one eye at that time. And she was then diagnosed with multiple, we're just going to call it MS because I can't say the second word. I hear it on TV, but I just can't say it. Okay, Samantha missed school due to the paralysis, blindness, and multiple, or the MS diagnosis. Samantha completed high school and has earned 2 degrees, including master degrees in mental health counseling / vocational rehabilitation counseling. And so I mentioned this one a little bit on the last stream. I feel like this I feel like she could have technically said she dropped out of high school, but she ended up finishing it. So I don't know, that one might be defamatory. I think I would lean more towards defamatory on statement A. So, yeah, I would lean more towards defamatory on that because she might have missed some school, but she could have believed it to be true. Like if her dad or someone close to Samantha was saying that she dropped out of high school, and to all that Meghan knows, she got her GED and then went to college. So, okay, I'm backing off of it a little bit. See my little brain work through it, right? So it could be defamatory or it could not be defamatory. What do you think? I think that one's closer than some of the other ones. And then we have Tanya D saying, Thomas said he might not be here today. Oh, okay. So he's not here, or probably won't be here, right? And then Jennifer says, this one might be. Yeah, I'm in the middle on this one. I think that there is an argument for both of those because she could have believed it was true when she said it. Okay. Ella Swanky, welcome back to the live stream. We have KK saying, I wonder if this was very traumatic and she was hurt by Meghan Markle lack of care on talking about it so freely, but IDK what SM is freely saying. Yeah, and so we also might be looking at an issue of, does Meghan Markle have the right to say these things because maybe she did believe it to be true, right? Okay, we are not talking about Amber Heard and saying that something happened that really didn't happen. Allegedly. We're going to go allegedly with that one. Okay, and so let's move on to statement B. Meghan saw Samantha only a handful of times, and Meghan has never had a relationship with either of them, Samantha or Tom, which will be her half brother, which is Samantha's full brother. This is false. Samantha spent time with the defendant on a regular basis throughout her childhood and even lived in the same apartment house with the defendant for a period of time. Samantha picked up Meghan from school, took Meghan for ice cream and to the mall regularly, and spent many family holidays with the defendant. Meghan's father was Meghan's primary caregiver, and Meghan and Samantha saw each other regularly. I don't remember. Was her father her primary caregiver? I don't know. I don't keep up with Meghan Markle enough to know whether her father was her primary caregiver. But this one, I am going to say, is not defamation in my opinion, just because she might have felt like she was hanging out with Meghan a lot, but maybe Meghan didn't remember her hanging out with them, or maybe Meghan remembered it being very uncomfortable hanging out with her. Like she might have taken her to ice cream, but Meghan, since that Samantha was like, I don't want to take you to ice cream, you know? So I think this one is more opinion based, of her saying that she doesn't have a close relationship with Samantha. I think that's more opinion. What do you guys think about that one? All right, so we have Daz Beat saying that's a lot of tea to spill on another person to a media outlet. Yeah, 17 statements she has issues with, and we're only on statement number 2. Okay, who said Kate says this lawsuit does seem a bit. I feel like it's not a very strong case so far. Hella Swanky says, that's the thing about defamation. She's got to prove Meghan knew these were lies and still told them to defame her. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. And so we talked about it a little bit on the last stream about whether they're going to use her as a public figure or a person with some sort of notoriety. And everything that she's alleging is under intentional. So I'm thinking that they are going to hold her to the higher standard of needing to prove knowingly or intentional or with a reckless disregard of it being false or true. Mary Z says, and how old was Meghan when Samantha was in high school? Could seem like she dropped out as far as Meghan understood. I agree with you there. That's why I said it could go different ways. She could have believed that she dropped out, and for all she knew, she just got a GED. That would still be considered to be a high school dropout, right? It would depend on what someone told her. And they're 17 years apart. So whenever Samantha was in high school, Meghan was just born. So it's not a very close age group, okay? So Hella Swanky says, what up, y'all? How's everyone? Yes, how is everyone this lovely Thursday? Who said Kate said? That just confused me. Who said Kate said? I always feel sympathy for people with chronic devastating illnesses. It's not uncommon for them to be ignored. I can agree with you there, and kind of wanting some type of recognition. Like she said, she took her to ice cream. She did all of these things with her, and maybe Meghan just didn't appreciate it or see it the same way that Samantha did. And I actually did not finish reading this one, so let me pop back onto the screen and finish reading what it actually says. Okay, so we have Meghan visited Samantha in Virginia and attended Samantha's college graduation in New Mexico in 2008. See photo attached. They spoke on the telephone and exchanged emails, and Meghan even called Samantha from the green room when Meghan was a briefcase model on a television show, Deal or No Deal. She was on Deal or No Deal? I had no idea about that. I don't keep up with her. I'm not a fan of hers. This is an attempt by Meghan to create a false impression that Meghan was essentially an only child with no contact with other family members, or as Meghan stated on Oprah, that she had no siblings. You can choose if you want to claim your siblings, though. It may be like biologically false, but her opinion of her relationship, it could be considered true. I don't know. I'm not going with Samantha at this point. Okay. Where were we? No siblings. Meghan apparently wanted to convince the public that her family members knew nothing about her life and thus were not qualified to contradict the false narrative Meghan had fabricated about her life. Okay, I see where she's going with it. I'm still not convinced that this is defamatory, but let's go ahead and jump into the third statement and see if we're getting a little convinced as this goes on. So, upon Meghan's dating Harry, Samantha changed her last name back to Markle. Let's see if this is true or not. This is false. Samantha's surname from birth is Markle, and Markle was always her maiden name. Just because it's your maiden name does not mean it's your government name. Sorry. That's not the name you go by. Okay. Samantha has been married twice and went by Samantha Grant and Samantha Rasmussen while married, but she never stopped using her maiden name, Markle. This is an effort by Meghan to discredit Samantha by falsely stating that Samantha changed her name to cash in on Meghan's name once she started dating Prince Harry. I think that one is going to come down to when she changed her name, because a person can insinuate or assume that you changed your last name legally back to Markle or publicly back to Markle if it did happen around that time. I don't know. I don't think that one's a strong argument. What do you guys think about that one? All right. We got some comments coming in. All right. So we have Hella Swanky saying that's a flat out lie. She was raised by her mom and dad, came in and out of her life. Okay, so Hella Swanky knows a little bit more than we do about it. So yeah, I don't know if she was raised by her dad only, but Samantha is saying that's who she was raised by, and Hella Swanky is saying no, that's not true. So I didn't read into her dismissal deep enough to see if she acknowledged that, honestly. Okay, Lady Autumn Sky says at one point Meghan Markle lived with her father for her to go to Catholic school. So probably like for a short amount of her life is what it sounds like Lady Autumn is saying. Kelly Miller says her mother was her primary caregiver and father was non-existent in her life. Okay, there's a bunch of different opinions with this. So it would have to be some evidence produced to help us understand, did she live with her father mostly or with her mother? Okay. Who Said Kate says, I'm really happy that my daughters are super close with my bonus daughter who is 16 years older than them. Yeah. And you can have a close relationship. And I think that's why Samantha is upset, because she thought they had a close relationship. At least she's trying to make it seem like she thought it. Did they really? It's questionable, but I've seen situations where when there are substantially older siblings, there isn't really a great relationship between them. Sometimes sometimes it can be, but other times it's kind of like, dude, why are you having kids and I'm 20 years old, right? So I'm happy that your family, they have a close relationship. All right, we have Hella Swanky saying it's not uncommon, but if you have half-decent parents, most of the time the kid with chronic illness gets all the attention. So the detriment of their siblings, it's some in we deal with a ton in the advocacy world. Okay, yeah, so I think the difference here is that she's so much older than her, so like 17 years old. So I guess you could be vying for the same attention if there's a new baby and you kind of want the attention that the new baby has. So I can see that happening. Okay. And then we have Jennifer Miller saying, I don't claim my biological brother anymore for reasons. You don't have to keep siblings if they're harmful. Exactly. You don't have to claim them. Like, technically, is it true that that person is related to you? Probably, but my opinion of the relationship is that I don't have any siblings. Maybe it's because you guys weren't there for me. Maybe it's because you guys bullied me or whatever it might be. I have siblings. I'm sorry. I was talking as if I was Meghan Markle. But yeah, you can disown your siblings. You can disown your parents, really. Okay, let's pop back into the actual article because we're only on number 3 and we have 17. So let's go. All right. Accusation number 4, or potential defamation number 4. Samantha began her career creating stories to sell to the press. This is false. Samantha never created any stories to sell to the press. In fact, the media has contacted and harassed Samantha on a constant basis, and she agreed to be interviewed in order to defend herself from the false stories regularly published in print and television media, including those disseminated by defendant. I don't know if she helped herself with that one. What do you guys think? I'm gonna skip that one. I don't think she helped herself with that one. It's almost like I don't create stories, but I did go and tell a story because I was defending myself. But in Meghan's eyes, she can feel like that's you creating stories. So I would have to know what the stories are that they're referring to. She would have to give more information, or Meghan would have to give more information. Oh no, Meghan doesn't have to give information. Samantha needs to give the information because she's the one that's trying to prove her case. Okay. Samantha had lost custody of all 3 of her children. This is false. Samantha never lost custody of any of her children. This is Meghan trying to destroy Samantha's credibility and reputation because a mother must be doing something very wrong to lose custody of her children. No, that's not true. It could just be that it's in the best interest of the child to be with the father. It doesn't mean that the mother is doing something substantially wrong. Maybe she just can't afford it, you know? So I don't know. I think that she would have to produce documents if she had a divorce and she had kids that she never lost custody of her children, because it could have been that maybe they were taken away from CPS at some time. Maybe they had to go live with their father at one time. Maybe they had to go live with another relative at one time. And just that one little moment can be considered you lost custody of your children, at least for that amount of time. So there's that. Samantha had 3 children from 3 different fathers. That's a little mean, but let's see. This is false. Samantha has been married twice and has 3 children. As one reporter noted, this is Meghan's attempt to slut shame Samantha and further destroy her credibility. But you don't tell us if they're all by the same fathers. You could have been married twice and had one baby before the marriage. And then you could have had one baby with the first person you married and then one baby with the third person you married. So that does not mean it's false. So how is it false? Do you not have 3 baby fathers? Yeah, so they just say, I was reading the footnote. It's a slut shaming. Okay, Miss Samantha. Okay, last one before we move on to the interview. It says Samantha brokered press deals for her father. This is false. There has never been an interview statement or any sort of press deal that was brokered or set up that went through Samantha. Samantha never received 1 penny from an interview with her father. Again, Meghan is attempting to discredit Samantha by suggesting she was selling access to her father. Okay, we don't know. We don't know. Okay, let's see. We got some chats coming in. Chats coming in. All right. We have Zuleika LDN. Welcome to the live stream. Saying let's pop back to this screen. Even when your parents' marriage is intact and you don't have any half siblings, if you were born 10 plus years apart, you may well live as an only child. I agree with that completely. Even if you aren't an only child. I agree with that completely. And I feel like that's a little bit opinion based. Like, okay, I grew up and these other kids, they came over every so often, or let's say you just have fully related sibling. They're going at high school all the time, or maybe they're in college while you're young. So you're growing up as an only child. You're getting all the presents, you're getting all the attention, you're going to all of your sporting events. So I definitely agree with you there. You can be raised as an only child, even if you do have siblings, especially when there is a large age gap. Or if your siblings live somewhere else, which is what this sounds like. It sounds like Samantha and her brother Tom lived most of the time with their mother. And then Meghan's father came in and out of her life. And sometimes Meghan stayed with her or stayed with him. And sometimes she didn't. So she could have very well been raised as an only child, especially if she's the only full-blooded child from those 2 parents. Okay, let's see. Marie Z says, Samantha wants a close relationship because ... Harry. She wants to be in the royal family. All right, we have Kelly Miller saying her mother was a social worker and a yoga instructor in order to support her. So it sounds like Meghan's mom worked hard in order to make sure that Meghan had everything that she needed. We have Upside Down saying, hey, Bri, and hey, chat. Hey, welcome back to the live stream. Nice to see you. Zuleika says 17 years old, 17 by. I don't know. Oh, sorry, I didn't put it on the screen. And CCM, welcome back to the live stream, saying, I found my father's family on Ancestry. I have a half sibling that's 10 years younger. I can imagine if I did grow up with him, we likely wouldn't be close if we were closer in age. Exactly. If you have not two different sets of parents, but you have one parent in common and then you have your own other parent, most of the time, or not most of the times, but a lot of the times, the half siblings don't live together unless that same parent has custody of you. So like it usually falls on the mother. If the mother, in this case, like Meghan Markle said, Samantha has 3 baby fathers, and all those kids live with Samantha, then that would be, you would live together. But if it's like, let's say Samantha's baby's father had 3 other women, those children are most likely just more commonly living with each of the mothers, not with the father. So they wouldn't really have as close of a relationship. It's possible for fathers to have custody, but just more commonly, and that's what I'm basing my examples off of. So don't get all feisty with me in the comments saying that men can have custody too, because I know that they can, but most commonly the kids are with the mother. All right, so let's pop back over to this here. More statements. The following statement or the following false defamatory, where am I getting these words? The following false defamatory and defamatory by implication. Okay. Statements appeared in Finding Freedom, which was published and sold globally beginning in August 2020. Okay. So I guess those first statements, I thought those were from the book, but maybe I misread that. That's what happens when you skim though. Okay. First statement from Finding Freedom. Meghan had crossed paths with Samantha only twice since growing up. Okay. As set forth below, the statement is completely false. Okay. There is only one picture of Samantha and Meghan. If there were more, Samantha would have sold them. Okay, there are many pictures of Samantha and Meghan. That's her statement. It's false. Okay, but she's saying, oh, okay, I see what they're saying. Samantha reached out to The Sun with her story about how snagging a royal had been Meghan's lifelong ambition. Oh, now Samantha's throwing shade at her. Samantha says Samantha never contacted The Sun. Oops. That was bad. Okay. She never contacted The Sun, but she doesn't deny saying that that was her lifelong dream. And she probably told it to someone that could have told The Sun. And that she's the only one she knows that would say something like that. That's possible. Okay. Samantha was paid handsomely by The Sun. This is false because Samantha is claiming that she never contacted The Sun. Okay. Samantha was not invited to Meghan's first wedding. This is false. Samantha was invited, but the wedding was in Jamaica. Samantha was confined to a wheelchair due to multiple MS. She had a young daughter and she was in high school at the time. Your young daughter was in high school at the time? For these reasons, Samantha was unable to attend the wedding. I wouldn't consider a kid in high school a young child. I just wouldn't. They're almost adults, in my opinion. Meghan asked her father to intervene with Samantha. This is false. Meghan never requested such an intervention with Samantha. No such conversation ever occurred. Okay, that's just your words. Samantha's father told her, what you're doing is hurting your sister. This is false. No such conversation occurred between Samantha and her father. Maybe you just didn't listen. Okay, I don't know. I feel like maybe I just don't like Samantha. I don't know why, because I'm not a fan of Meghan, and I don't know Samantha. But for some reason, I'm like, just bringing this lawsuit just feels icky to me. Maybe, and I'm just like, I don't believe you. Maybe because a lot of the statements that she is bringing up are also kind of opinion based. So maybe that's why. I don't believe her. All right. So let's see. Do I want to read this paragraph? Probably not. All right. Let's go into the chat for a little bit and see what the peeps have to say. And then we're going to go into the causes of actions. And then we'll go into, Meghan Markle's first motion to dismiss, and we are 40 minutes in, and we are just now getting through the statements. Okay, let's see. Here we go. We have KK saying, so isn't she not supposed to put a fact of why it's false, or can they save that for court? Seems little to no information of how it's false. Yeah, so she doesn't have to fully explain it. Really, she just has to allege facts sufficient enough to show that a claim exists. And really, she doesn't have to say it's false and explain why. She can just say it's not true. Or she can just say she said this and it will be proven at trial that it is not true. But she does not need to give us very much detail about why it isn't true. But like I said, a lot of the stuff that she's saying is like opinion based, or it could be, what do you call it? Not defamation, but the crucial part of the statement doesn't, the actual wording of the statement doesn't matter. It's just that it has the same effect. So one of the examples that are going to come up later is that Meghan said she hadn't seen her for 18, 19 years, but the real amount of time that she didn't see her was like for 13 years. The impact of the statement is that she hasn't seen her in a long time. So the exact amount of years doesn't really matter when we're talking about defamation, and especially seeing that someone intentionally defamed you because they messed up the years. Maybe they remembered it a little longer ago. They didn't have the years in front of them. A bunch of things. When you're talking on live television, when you're talking on live YouTube, sometimes you mess up. Sorry. Okay. Upside Down says, I'm the youngest of 7, 5 brothers and a sister. I have 8 parents. Okay, because the siblings are parents for you as well. That's what I'm going to assume. Okay, we have Hella Swanky talking to Dabs Beat saying, yes, but the messy side causing all the drama. Oh, you guys are talking about what they got going on there. So we're going to skip into that. Jennifer Miller says, it looks like her dad's side just wants to use her. That's what it feels like, because even the statements that she's making, I think it's almost like promotion for her own book, because she keeps talking about how she lost sales to her book, to kind of make these statements that, like I said, a lot of them are opinion based, or how Meghan felt, or maybe what Meghan heard, growing up. Maybe she did hear that she dropped out of school. We don't know. All right. And then we have Lady Autumn Sky saying, and Meghan Markle's father worked on the set of soap opera General Hospital, so he could pay for Meghan Markle to attend Catholic school. Okay, that makes sense. Someone else did say or maybe you were the one that said she went to Catholic school. I'm not sure. Kelly Miller says, Samantha Markle is trying to get her 15 minutes of fame. Elaine Brittenhoff's voice. Are you here for your 15 minutes of fame? And to see if she can get some money from Meghan Markle. See if she can get some of the money Meghan Markle worked to get. Okay. I was messing that sentence up. Okay, who said? Kate says, Samantha, I was trying to pull for you, but really, yeah, that's how I'm feeling too. As I read more of the statements, I'm like, I don't think I like you. I don't think I like you very much. Okay, so let's go back into the complaint here. All right. We have the count 1 is defamation. That's the first thing that she's suing for, which is also interesting because her causes of action changes in her amended complaint, which I think is funny. Okay. So we have defendant's statements in Meghan's email to Knopf was the best-selling book, Finding Freedom, and Oprah Winfrey interview and worldwide media are false and defamatory. Basically saying that she published it, disseminated it. She exposed, I want to get into why she's saying that she's damaged. Plaintiff has suffered actual damages in the form of loss of employment, lost income from sales of her autobiography. She's very concerned about this book, emotional and mental distress, including anxiety and fear due to the threatening and violent emails and messages she receives regularly, and harm to her reputation and credibility. So that is why she's asking for money here. Count 2 is defamation by implication. And she goes on to say, as set forth above, false statements disseminated by defendant's email in the best-selling book, Finding Freedom, in the Oprah Winfrey interview and the worldwide media were defamatory by implication because defendant intentionally and knowingly omitted facts she omitted facts, or she spoke it in the way that was true to her. I don't know. Or juxtapose a series of facts to imply a defamatory connection between them. Among other things, defendant's false statements created the defamatory implication that plaintiff had no relationship whatsoever with her sister Meghan, and that plaintiff has created a lucrative career selling false stories to tabloids and television programs when she knows nothing about defendant's childhood. Defendant engaged in such a defamatory by implication conduct knowingly, intentionally, and with actual malice. So again, like I said, I think she's trying to aim for that, or she might have to prove it on a public figure standard. Okay. So they go on to say she damaged her. They want a jury trial. And she doesn't really ask how much money. She doesn't really say how much money she wants. She just says she wants compensatory and punitive damages against the defendant. Okay. So let's move on into the first motion to dismiss. Uh-oh. What did I do? Uh-oh. Let's try this again. Here we go. Are we back? I think so. Motion to dismiss number 1. See, on live stream, you mess up. Samantha, I'm sorry. Didn't get all the numbers right. Okay, so I'm probably going to pop back into the comments real quick, see what the peeps are saying or what the bees are saying. Let's see. We have Hello Swinky saying, all seems like petty family drama that didn't need to be in the courts. Exactly, but you have to get pressed for your own books, right? That's why I'm not a fan of Samantha. Nobody is checking for Samantha. Saying she has a reputation to damage is generous at best. I love the wording, the creative writing. I love it. I freaking love it. Okay. Generous at best. I love to hear it. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let me get my streaming together today. Okay. Jennifer Miller says, if my sister married a prince, I wouldn't sue her. I would try to make nice with them, be nice, and nice will come to you. Well, maybe she tried that and Meghan just ignored her. It's just like, hey, you want my fame? Or some people did comment on my last video talking about Meghan Markle and that they compared her to Amber Heard and that maybe Meghan Markle has a little bit of secrets behind her as well. Rumors probably. So maybe Meghan got famous and was like, okay, I don't want anything to do with my family. That can also be a situation, and maybe Samantha is hurt by that. These are all just speculations, but it could go a couple of different ways, right? A couple of different ways. All right. So Upside Down says, I'm not digging Samantha either. They're both messes. Cut off their oxygen. No, that's not nice. That's not nice. Okay. Hello Swanky says, right? But if I had to guess, I bet she tried that. And when it didn't work, she went this route. Yeah, that's what I said. I think maybe she did try to be nice and Meghan was just like, no. Or maybe Meghan's a prude. Not a prude. Let me not say that. But maybe Meghan's mean. We don't know. We don't know what she does on a regular basis. Zuleika LDN says, the slander book, Princess Pushy's sister. maybe that's the situation too. So, okay, let's check out what we got going on over here in the motion to dismiss. This is under 12B, failure to state a claim. I think I wanted to cover the introduction. I got this so zoomed in, I can't even really see. Okay, yeah, we're going to cover the introduction and then we're going to jump down into the arguments. Okie dokie. So this is a defamation case without any merit, which is the line that all the news outlets like to use. Plaintiff accuses Meghan of making various defamatory statements about her. Plaintiff's allegations are demonstrably. Why can I not say that word? Demonstrably. I can't say it. Demonstrated, right? False, and the evidence would easily confirm that. But plaintiff's complaint fails on its own terms, even when the court assumes the truth of plaintiff's allegations for the purposes of argument, as it must do on a motion to dismiss. As set out in more detail below, plaintiffs count 1 for defamation and count 2 for defamation by implication identify 17 separate statements which are summarized in the appendix pages Allegedly, the statements largely have their genesis in a private December 18, 2018 email from Meghan to the then Communications Secretary of Kensington Palace, Jason Knopf, who oversaw media relations for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, William and his wife Kate, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which is Prince Harry and Meghan. Plaintiff alleges Meghan sent to Knopf, I think I'm saying that right, Knopf, in preparation for a meeting between Knopf and the authors of a book now titled Finding Freedom, published in August 2020, all claims based directly on the alleged statements in the email, are clearly time barred under Florida's 2-year statute of limitations and are not defamatory in any event. So they're claiming statutes of limitation and that they're not defamatory. So they have two defenses going for that one. The statements based indirectly on the 2018 email are contained in Finding Freedom. These claims all fail for the obvious reason that Meghan did not make them. The authors of Finding Freedom made the statements, and there are no allegations, nor could there be, that Meghan wrote that book or otherwise controlled its composition and editing. In any event, as further detailed below, the statements are non-actionable opinion and are substantially true. So that's the argument that I was making earlier, that, okay, on the face, it could be considered false, but does it have the same effect if you change the words around a little bit? Which is that the statement was substantially true. Okay, so they're basically saying that Meghan did not publish these statements. So she made some statements in an email. And basically what they're alleging is that the person that she wrote the email to basically took her words and twisted them, in that they were no longer her words and that it's not her book, right? So going on to say, plaintiff also alleges that Meghan made 3 purported defamatory statements in 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey. These claims also fail because Meghan's alleged statements are either non-actionable opinion or substantially true. Okay, and so we're going to skip the background because we probably should go through some of the background, but it's going to take too long and we don't have time for that. So let's go ahead and check out some of the things. You guys are having a great conversation between yourself. So I'm just trying to find a good comment to check out here. We have Who Said Kate saying, I think Meghan Markle has amassed a following on her Poor Me, the American in the royal family, but I don't buy that side either. Yeah, some people have some things to say about Meghan Markle as well. Like I said, I'm not a fan of her. I don't hate her. I don't know much about her, to tell you the truth. Just thought the case was interesting, but I can see it. I can see where Samantha might be coming from, but do I think it's defamation? I'm not truly convinced of that. All right, we have Marie Z saying, this is all a PR stunt for her book. I'm leaning more towards that as well. Goosebump 801 says, just get in here. Well, welcome in. It's okay to be late. People have things to do. We have Upside Down saying, these two have made themselves relevant with their family feud. I think it's all BS, to be honest. They're a dumpster fire. Let it burn itself out. Which could completely, maybe they're both trying to create press for themselves. That could be something as well, but we won't know until this thing either gets dismissed or it goes to trial, right? Or it goes far enough and then get a settlement. So we don't know what their intentions are. All right, so I haven't said this in a while. So if you guys are watching live and you haven't hit the like button already, make sure you go ahead and hit the thumbs up. It really helps me out in the algorithm. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because I have been on my way to 8,000 subscribers for a month now, and we need to get there. Let's just get there and we'll all be happy, right? Because we will hit that magical number of 8,000. I don't know if it's really magical, but it would be nice. It would be nice. And we also have memberships to the channel. It's $5 a month. So if you guys have $5 to spare and you want to help out the channel, it helps me get these documents that we cover. That's also an option. And you also get cool little things next to your name. And you also get pretty cool emojis. There are some members here. So if you guys want to drop some of the emojis that you get as a member, that will be beneficial to show the people what do you get when you are an exclusive member of the Bri Hive. And We now have 9 members to the channel, which is exciting for me. I didn't think that we would get 9 members very quickly, but we have 9 members. And I am thinking about doing a special stream by inviting the members onto the live stream. So I'm trying to figure out how to do like a Zoom call while live streaming at the same time. So let me know how many members should we have before we do something like that, where we all get to get onto the live stream together and just chat. We'll pick a topic and we can all chat on there. So maybe 50 will be, let's say maybe 25 will be more doable to have that many people on one stream, right? Maybe we'll play a game on there. We can go 25, 50, 75, or 100. So let me go ahead and put a poll. How many members until we do a special Zoom stream? Okay. I did not think this one out, so it's just kind of coming on the fly. So we're going to say 25 members. That one's a little easier to reach because we're already at 9, right? We can do 50. We can do 75. And we can do 100. How many members do you guys think that we should have in order to do this special stream to where the members get to get on the stream with us or with me, huh? Okay, I went ahead and dropped it. Let me know what you guys think in the poll if you guys care. And let's jump back over to the the motion to dismiss. First argument for Meghan Markle is early dismissals are particularly appropriate in defamation cases. Basically saying that if you don't dismiss this claim, it basically chills the defendant's speech, which is not appropriate because we have the right to freedom of speech, right? So let's see. All right. And so they just kind of give some case law and some other things. And I wanted to cover this portion of it. It says pretrial dismissals is particularly appropriate in defamation cases because of the chilling effect these cases have on First Amendment rights. And it cites a case. Both federal and Florida courts therefore stress the prominent function courts play in such cases and favor the early dismissal of untenable claims. As explained by the 11th Circuit, there is a powerful interest in ensuring that free speech is not unduly burdened by the necessity of defending against expensive yet groundless litigation. So they don't want it to be chilled because your feelings got hurt, then you're going to sue someone, is basically what that is saying. Okay, the next argument that Meghan Markle's team presents is any claim based on the December 2018 email are time barred. Basically, statute of limitations has already passed. So why are you even bringing this case? Kind of like the Mariah Carey one we covered, right? Oh, I cannot wait till the response for that one comes out. Okay, Florida, we go on to say Florida has a 2-year statute of limitation for defamation. The statute begins to run at the time of publication and not from when the defamation is or reasonably should have been discovered, which that exception does apply to a lot of different laws, but they specifically pointed out that it does not apply if you found out about it 2 years later. You cannot then say this time is running. It starts running at the time of publication. It was published in 2018, and it is now 2022 when she's bringing this lawsuit. Okay, so let me see. That they're saying what I just said, but they used all these paragraphs to say it. Okay, all right. They go on to talk about republication, but I don't think that's really important for this stream, so we're gonna skip it. If you guys want to see this document, I'm thinking about doing some way for you guys to access it. Maybe I'll create another membership level where I will post like the Google Drive for you guys to visit the documents if you want to read them yourself. That might be an idea to support the channel, right? As a matter of law, Meghan did not publish any of the statements 8 through 14 in Finding Freedom. As to the allegedly defamatory statements in the book Finding Freedom, all claims based on those statements fail for the simple reason that Meghan did not make the statements. Or in legal jargon, plaintiff fails I like that. In legal jargon, a plaintiff fails to establish the first element of defamation claim, the requirement that the defendant publish the false statement. Because the publication of a statement is a necessary element in a defamation action, only one who publishes can be subject to this form of liability. Plaintiff cannot possibly allege that Meghan published the statements in Finding Freedom. There is no dispute that two unrelated authors wrote that book. Not Meghan. And plaintiff's allegation on information and belief that the then Communications Secretary Knopf passed along the supposedly defamatory statements in the 2018 email to the authors for the authors to use in their book does not satisfy the requirement that Meghan have published the statements. You just have to publish it to a third party. So the email would technically be considered defamation, or not defamation, but could be considered publication. But if two unrelated authors wrote the book, you would most likely be looking to do like some type of agency, or if they're saying like written on behalf of Meghan Markle, you would have to tie that book to her. And basically what they're arguing is that you cannot tie the book to her, just because that's like me reading this and then coming on here and saying, well, Samantha said Meghan Markle is a lying son of a gun when she never said it, right? It'll be similar to doing something like that. But I think they're right in making this argument for that. Okay, so courts applying Florida law have repeatedly rejected analogous attempts to end run the publication requirement. For example, in this case, Johnson v. Darnell, plaintiff based the defamation claim on allegations that two sheriff deputies made fabrications in a warrant application, which resulted in plaintiff's name and picture being posted on Alachua, I don't know how to say that, county's most wanted list. The 11th Circuit held that this was not enough to state a defamation claim under Florida law and affirmed that the district court's dismissal under the motion or the failure to state a claim. So basically like my example, but a little bit better. She's a lying son of a gun. Samantha said it. Like that would be, she cannot then sue Meghan Markle for writing this paper for me saying that, right? I would have my own liability. All right, so I'm just popping down here because this one has a long argument. Like I said, maybe I'll create another something to where you guys can access it, but still allow it to support the channel because these documents are long and we're not able to read all of it. So let me pop back to the chat because I haven't been over here in a while. Let's see what the peeps are saying. We have Upside Down saying these two made themselves relevant. Oh, I think we already read that one. Let it burn itself out. We have Who Said Kate says, I doubt Meghan Markle's mixed race and divorce status is a barrier for her, but she plays the victim role too hard. I got too much Irish blood. I would be shouting from the roofs. Yeah, so I think that is a turnoff about Meghan Markle too. I don't know if the royal family is really just that mean. Maybe they are. I don't know. Okay, Lady Autumn Sky says, I don't much care for Meghan Markle or her family. However, I have watched and followed General Hospital for 40 years, and I follow royal family. My daughter calls it useless facts by mom. I think that was informative. Your daughter is funny. Your daughter is really funny. Okay, sorry guys, I got people calling me and emailing me here. All right, I lost some of the chat, so we're kind of catching back up here. Ginger Haynes says, dang, I'm late. Wish I'd caught the beginning of the stream. Been following them since the beginning. I personally don't like Meghan Markle, but going to rewatch. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining the live stream. And I hope you enjoy the restream because we're already an hour into this thing. And we just went over the complaint and now we're into the motion to dismiss. So feel free to drop comments after the live stream. Feel free to drop comments during the live stream. We like to have fun over here. All right, we have Hella Swinky talking to Goosebumps 801 saying, oh snap, sounds like a lot of work, but also sounds like exciting stuff on the horizon for you. Okay, I missed whatever comment you're responding to. We have Das Beats saying the case doesn't sound strong at all. Yeah, I'm not thinking this one's a strong one. Not thinking it's strong. Goosebumps says, looking forward to no more yard work. Okay, that's what you guys are talking about. Okay. Upside Down says, agreed, Daff. Sibling rivalry. Sounds like it, right? We have Data for Insights. Welcome back to the live stream. Can't talk. Welcome back to the live stream saying, hi, chat and Bri, joined late and will replay. Awesome. Nice to see you guys all in the live stream. It's always fun to be in the live stream, but replay crew is cool too. I should just like drop out of law school and become a rapper because I am constantly rhyming and it's not on purpose. So I think I'm going to be a rapper. I think that's what I'm going to do. Did I say drop out of law school? I'm going to stop being a lawyer. I'm already done with law school. I'm going to stop being a lawyer and become a rapper. Okay. You guys can be on the Bri Hive Live rap stream. Let's see who in LawTube wants to battle me in a rap battle based on the law. It probably wouldn't be that entertaining. Okay, moving on. The next argument that Meghan Markle makes is there is no overlap between the December 2018 email and the Finding Freedom. So basically saying that there's no way they even got that information from there. Someone has offered someone to do a rap battle with me and it's going to be uncivil law. Kurt from Uncivil Law. Does he rap on his streams? I haven't caught him doing that yet. Okay, we have publication aside. Scobie and Duran wrote Finding Freedom, not Meghan. For Meghan to be liable for Scobie and Duran's statement, plaintiff must establish that the allegedly defamatory statements are traceable to her. To that end, plaintiff alleges that Meghan intended for the allegedly false information she provided to enough, namely statements 1 through 7, to be communicated to the authors and published globally in the book Finding Freedom. And these statements were published in Finding Freedom, including chapter 12. But these are the reasons why they're saying that it doesn't go. Even assuming arguendo that Knopf actually provided the supposed background from Meghan to the authors of Finding Freedom, they use almost none of it. The only mention of plaintiff's education in the book is that she graduated from college. The book never claims that plaintiff dropped out of high school. The book never asserts that plaintiff changed her last name back to Markle. The book never addresses plaintiff's children, their fathers, or whether she ever lost custody of them. So even if plaintiff could satisfy the publication requirement in this matter, she cannot. Like the shade, there is no basis for alleging that the authors used the allegedly defamatory information in Finding Freedom. I think that was a good thing to point out. You have to read the book to find out if they really never did these things, which I'm sure Meghan's lawyers did. But interesting arguments, right? And then they go on to make some other assertions of why it doesn't apply. And then we go into the second reason why it doesn't apply for the plaintiff defamation by implication. Defamation by implication claim. I'm losing my breath here. Okay. Plaintiff's defamation by implication claim suffers from the same defect in reverse. Instead of statements in the email that were not discussed in the book, her claim hinges on statements in the book that were not discussed in the email. Specifically, the 2018 email said nothing about photos, let alone that plaintiff would have sold any additional photos if she had them. The 2018 email did not assert that plaintiff reached out to the Sun or that she was paid handsomely by it. The 2018 email did not mention Meghan's first wedding and thus necessarily said nothing of whether plaintiff have been invited to her wedding. So basically, these people that wrote the book is making things up and it shouldn't be applied to Meghan. Finally, the email did not mention any conversations with Meghan's father about plaintiff. Okay. Indeed, the only statement supporting the defamation by implication claim that might be imputed to Meghan requires plaintiff to broaden the temporal scope by decades and to conflate seeing Meghan with speaking to her in order to allege falsity. Simply put, the email says nothing false. Good argument. Sounds strong. Sounds strong just from the writing. Very strong legal writing there. Okay. We have Paul Amos, welcome to the live stream, saying Meghan Markle is a gold digger. And this is Paul's opinion. Thinks of nobody other than herself. She will bend Harry when she realizes that her plotting has ostracized them both from the pot of gold and prestige she'll lose win. Okay, someone does not like Meghan Markle. McGufford said Meghan Markle gets too much hate from the UK media, but she does need to be held accountable for shady stuff like bringing Netflix cameras to the Uvalde Memorial for clout. Oh wow, I haven't heard about that. So yeah, Meghan Markle does have some bad rap too. I'm not liking Miss Samantha here, but for the most part, a lot of people have been coming with some allegations against Meghan as well, which makes me think maybe Meghan is mean. Maybe it could be possible. Okay. Data for Insight says, I jumped on here as soon as I could because I'm so curious about Meghan Markle. Recently watched a documentary called Meghan at 40. It was interesting. I never heard of that documentary. It sounds like it would be interesting. Hello Swanky says, from someone who actually did music professionally for years, including rapping, please don't stop being a lawyer to become a rapper. I started laughing because I thought it was gonna say, please stop trying to rap. I was like, no, don't come after me. I lost the chat. Oh gosh. Okay, where were we at here? Completely lost it. Let's see what this one says. Hella Swinky is commenting to Sage Moon saying, yeah, I have unusually small ears, so earplugs and earbuds don't fit. Headphones have been my best buddies most of my life. I've got a solid collection. Okay, cool. I don't know what you guys are referring to. Sometimes I pick bad comments to talk about because I have no clue what you guys are talking about. Data for Insight. Oh, okay. I'm way up. I was in the wrong section for sure. Okay. We are down to rapping. KK says Kurt would be interesting, 2 different personalities. Yeah, I sat with Kurt at the wedding. We were cool. LawTube is cool. I don't think there's anyone on LawTube that I don't like. Everyone's cool and like, I don't know. We were able to hang out, no issues that I saw. I had a great time. But it was a good time. Everyone different personalities for sure. Everyone has different personalities for sure, but to me, we all get along pretty well. Zuleika LDN says he has said he wanted to do a rap album. Kurt on a rap album. I would love to hear it. Daz Beat says the Boss Attorney album dropping in 6 months. I don't think I could get it out that fast, honestly. I'm just busy. Okay. Goosebump 801 says, haven't heard him rap yet, but you never know it, Kurt. Yeah, he puts on acting shows and stuff for us as well. So I would love to see the rap. He might want to do a rap battle with me. I'm gonna DM him about this rap battle. We have Paul Amos saying Meghan Markle. Oh, yep. See, that's me being behind on the chat because I lost the chat and then I scrolled way too far up. Okay. Now we are back to where I was at. I guess we'll go here. KK says, I mean, she's an actress, needs PR to help get jobs. It would be hard to be famous like that cringe video of actors singing during lockdowns. Yeah, I have no I do not remember that. But I can see how it could be cringy. Okay, let's pop back into the motion to dismiss. We have 2 more things to go. Whew. And those are the ones that I haven't really looked through very well. Okay. Opinions are not, or the remaining statements are not actionable. Opinions are not defamatory. On top of the defects above, at least 3 of the allegedly defamatory statements are opinions. Opinions cannot be defamatory. First, plaintiff takes issue with the statement that Meghan has never had a relationship with plaintiff or her half-brother. I agree with them there. That is an opinion. Samantha could believe that they had the best relationship ever. Maybe Samantha even constantly put Meghan to bed when she was a baby, but Meghan doesn't remember it, or she doesn't remember it like that. Okay, going on. But as one court has found, characterizing a relationship as close does not rise to the level necessary to support false light claim when the characterization is mere opinion. Such a subjective perception at issue here is inherently falsifiable. Then they give some examples. Second, and for the same reason, the statement in the Oprah interview that Meghan is an only child is pure opinion. As an initial matter, Meghan did not state that she is an only child, but rather she grew up as an only child. Exactly. You can't leave out crucial things in the statement when trying to allege defamation. You can't just say she was the only child when she really said she grew up as the only child. Regardless, such a subjective characterization of her own childhood and her relationship or lack thereof with plaintiff cannot support a defamation claim. Such inherently personal and individualized feelings are not falsifiable. How one feels towards their family members and how one characterizes one's own relationship with the father that separated from her mother and lived elsewhere from age 2. So now we have the information. He did not live with her from the age of 2. That's interesting. I know there was a little bit of back and forth with that in the chat. So we have a third, plaintiff denies that she began a career creating stories to sell to the press. This, however, is not remotely comparable to what the book's author actually wrote. While Samantha's media blitz didn't transform her into a household name, the notoriety was accompanied by cash. Samantha knew that to maintain a steady supply of the latter, she needed to keep the stories coming, which is, I guess, what is it what Samantha said or what? Oh, that must have been what Meghan said. Okay. Regardless, the email statement as to the degree of plaintiff's success or her avarice is clearly protected opinion. And then it cites a case there. And then it goes on to another statement as to why the statement is not actionable. Whether Meghan last saw plaintiff 13 or 18 years ago is immaterial for defamation purposes. And that goes on into the example that I gave a little bit earlier. Although a false statement of fact is signs I can't say that word. For recovery in defamation action, under a substantial truth doctrine, a statement does not have to be perfectly accurate if the gist or the sting of the statement is true. Here, plaintiff alleges that Meghan defamed her in the Oprah interview by roughly estimating that she had seen plaintiff at least 18 or 19 years ago, and before that, 10 years before that. But when plaintiff last saw Meghan does not support a defamation claim for 2 related reasons. First, plaintiff concedes that she has not seen Meghan since plaintiff's college graduation in 2008, which would have been 13 years before instead of the 18 that she estimated. She even said 18 to 19 or 18, 19 years, which is like an estimation. Those 5 incremental years do not result in significantly greater opprobrium than would result from the statement without alleged falsehood. So it basically gives you the same meaning, right? It's been a bunch of years since I've seen that person. Okay. Second, Meghan's statement was substantially true. For defamation purposes, a statement must be substantially or materially false, not just technically false. Okay. Going on, plaintiff did not begin going by a different name. The substantial truth doctrine also precludes defamation claim based on statements that plaintiff changed her name. Plaintiff is suing under the name Samantha Markle, but admits that she has gone by 2 married names. Exactly. Grant and Rasmussen. Thus, plaintiff does not deny that she changed her name and noted in both the December 2018 email and an Oprah interview, but rather asserts she was merely reverting to her maiden name at the time that the global media reported Meghan was dating Prince Harry, and she was ironically giving interviews as Samantha Grant. So, in 2018, she was Samantha Grant. Yeah, so it sounds like you changed your name when she married Harry. Okay. But plaintiff does not allege that a divorce overlapped with the beginning of Meghan's relationship with her now husband. nor could she because Scott Rasmussen filed for divorce from plaintiff in 2003. Yeah, well over a decade before Meghan and her now husband began a relationship. Okay, and then we have order showing divorce in 2004. As late as September 2016, just 2 months before Meghan's relationship was widely reported, plaintiff was still going by the name Samantha Rasmussen. Wow. In 2016. That's like, some people do keep their married last name. I would not. If I don't like you anymore, not keeping your last name. Okay, I was trying to see if they were talking about, okay, here we go. These judicially noticeable material established that plaintiff did not obtain an injunction using the name Rasmussen in an effort to avoid further unwanted publicity associated with her legal name Markle. But because that is her name, she habitually uses in legal proceedings. 12 years after plaintiff's divorce was finalized and merely months before Meghan started dating Prince Harry, plaintiff was still going by Rasmussen and Grant, but not by Markle. It follows that any statements to the effect that plaintiff changed her names are substantially true. Exactly. And so let me pop back over to the chat because I've been kind of reading going on here. Okay. And let me just pop back over. Sorry, I was reading something on my screen there. Meghan is entitled to her attorney's fees and costs because Meghan is entitled to recover attorney's fees and costs under Florida's anti-SLAPP statute. Florida enacted anti-SLAPP law to spare defendants the great expense, harassment, and interruption of their duties from lawsuits that seek to suppress the exercise of the First Amendment rights. The longer such suits linger, the greater expense and interruption of the lives of the targets, the greater they treat financial or the threat of financial liability, and the greater the chill on the exercises. So basically, asking for attorney's fees because of anti-SLAPP, she should be free to say these things, right? And then we have all these statements down here that can be gone through at a later time. Okay, we made it through the second document. And we are almost an hour and a half in. So I don't know if we're going to cover very much of the next two documents just because I honestly did not have time to go through them as much as these other two documents. As you can see, it was a lot of information in there. And these documents are also a little bit of repeats of the original documents because it's just an amended complaint and then another motion to dismiss. So it's going to use some of the same things, except they use more pages. So I might go over some of them, but I don't know if I'm going to go over a lot of it, to tell you the truth. All right. We have Jennifer Miller saying, yeah, the name change is suspicious. Yeah, I don't think she can overcome that name change part, honestly. I feel like they had a lot of facts to throw at her there. Data for Insight says, my sister and brother are only 2 years apart. They are a unit. We all love each other, even though at times I feel like I've been mostly living like an only child, and they get it. Are you older or younger? KK says, sounds like siblings beefing and need to keep it private. Suing seems like petty business, which is exactly why Meghan is asserting anti-SLAPP. Like, leave me alone, lady. This is really tragic. I wish they could just get on. Like, if they could just figure it out outside of the public eye. But the purpose is most likely for them to be in the public eye because Samantha is trying to sell her book, okay? She wants to sell her book. Jennifer Miller says, my sister is 9 years older than me, and it took until I had kids for us to get close. It took so long for us to even out. Even out. Okay, got it. Yeah. So when my siblings, we're all like right on top of each other. My mom had 4 kids within 7 years. So it's like my oldest sister is like, what, 3 years older than me. My brother's 1 year older than me, and my younger sister's 3 years younger than me. So my mom had her kids back to back. So there's no like age gap other than between my older sister and my younger sister, because each of them are 3 years away from me, or 3 to 4 years away from me. So that's the only gap that they really have. But then it turned out to be like the older sister, my older sister treated my younger sister like her own little baby. So they have a bond. I think all of my siblings are pretty close. So none of us grew up as only child. My mom calls us a gang. We were a gang. All right. Goosebumps 801 says, I grew up in SLC, hence the 801 in my username. We had temperature inversion, which looked like smog, the water shortage, beautiful place, but no thanks for the long term. Okay. Who said? Kate said, I use my married name and reject any reference to my maiden name for personal reasons. Yeah, I guess that would be a reason to keep your last name. I do see a lot of people keeping their last names for those reasons. And sometimes you have that name for so long, it's like no point of going back. I really happen to like my last name and I really want to hyphenate it, but that's a conversation to be discussed with the fiance. I'd rather have my ex-husband's name and children's surname rather than bio sperm donor's name. Yeah, that makes sense. That completely makes sense, especially like when you don't have a relationship with the person whose last name you had first. And it also makes sense when you have kids because it just makes some things a little easier, like putting them in school, doing medical things. It can. Sometimes it doesn't affect it, but sometimes it can affect it if you don't have the same last name. Okay, where did it go? Where did it go? Data for Insight says, it reads very much so I want to write in your name, so I'll air family complexities in the public in a frivolous lawsuit. It's sad. Yeah, it's not giving necessary. Like, it's given very unnecessary, right? You did not need to file this at all. But maybe she does feel hurt. I don't know if we can really dismiss her feelings here. Paul Amos says Meghan is technically a Windsor as she uses title Duchess of Sussex. It is the media who calls Meghan Markle just as the call Catherine Duchess of Cambridge is called by the media by her maiden name. Did she change her last name though? But I think that's how people know her. Betsy is here in the stream. Welcome to the live stream with the emojis. Okay. Data for Insight says Boss Bri younger. Younger than what? I'm confused. Goosebumps says Salt Lake City. Sorry, that's where you're from. Okay. Minds Pheasant says Court TV is reporting that Nipsey Hussle defendant was beaten up in a holding cell. Yeah, I reported on that on Tuesday. So we didn't know if it was real or not, but we did cover the article on Tuesday. I don't know how far along they are. They should be coming up on the end of that trial, but I think they said he was hospitalized from being beat up. Jennifer Miller says, I have 4 and 5 years. I don't know if I could do that. The 7-year gap was already extreme, okay? Or not even a gap, right? Just back to back. You really had your children back to back. I don't know if you were supposed to be having kids that close together because we say that to my mom because my brother is literally 1 year and 6 days older than me. We're like, you was definitely not supposed to be doing the thing. I mean, I guess you could 3 months later do the things to make you have babies, but I'm just like, you didn't want to take a break. Oh, yeah. I don't know why I laugh at myself. Upside Down says, with everything going on in the world, these two need to take stock of what matters and stop sucking the oxygen out of the room with their pettiness and selfish behavior. Yeah, I feel like this case is just very unnecessary, to tell you the truth. I don't know. But they go on to allege similar things. So I'm trying to skim as I live stream to see if there's some stuff that we want to cover. They definitely give a shorter background in the new amended complaint, which I'm thinking, let's check. Is this by a different attorney? This one was filed by Mr. Douglas Call, and this one was filed, I probably should have looked at the law firm as well, by Jamie. So this is a new attorney, Jamie Allen Sasson and Peter Tickton. Peter Tickton. It's a funny name. Okay, Sweda, PA, and yeah, these are different law firms. The Tickton Law Group. Okay. So let's go ahead. I think I highlighted some of the statements, but not all of them. Okay. We might go over I'm trying to see where it is important. She gave a lot of facts in this one as well. So I think we're just going to go over the actual causes of action that she put in here, because I think it does list some of the statements that were made, and we can look at that for a second. And we have Zuleika LDN saying it's 2 a.m. here. See ya. Good night. Have a great night, or have a good sleep, because it's past night in my opinion. I go to sleep at like 9 o'clock. Like a little, I don't know what's wrong with me. I go to sleep so early. It's ridiculous. Jennifer Miller. And when I was a kid, like we had a bedtime of 9 o'clock, probably up until high school-ish, maybe. And I was so mad that I had to go to bed at 9 o'clock. And now I can barely stay up past 9 o'clock. I can barely make it to 9 o'clock, actually. Let's say it that way. Okay, we have Jennifer Miller saying I had a birth control baby. Otherwise, I would have spaced them out more. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. The whoopsie baby, because that's a lot. I don't have any kids, and I'm scared to have them because I feel I don't know. I don't know if I'll be good with them. Alpha has confidence, but I don't know. It's scary. Who said Kate says, just FYI, I purposely fostered the intention that my bonus children, technically stepkids, were bio kids sibling. I removed the half sibling at the vet. Those your siblings and my bonus kids. Yeah. So I have a technical half sister, but we don't acknowledge the half part. We just say that's our sister. So our family is like that too. And I have other cousins like that as well, where they have one different parent, and we don't consider them to be a half sibling. Some people do. I don't have any step siblings because my parents are together. I don't have any step siblings, but for the technical sister that's half, we don't refer to her as a half sister. She's just our sister. So I definitely understand that. All right, you guys are talking to each other. Data for Insight says, Boss Bri, you asked me if I was older or younger than my sibling. Oh, okay. I remember. Okay, so they're 2 years apart, and then you're younger than them. I think I remembered that correctly. Okay. I'm behind in the chat. Who said Kate says, sorry at the get, meaning straight up, yes, kids from different mom, and yes, your sibs. Yeah, exactly. Still siblings. We all grew up in the same house though as well, so maybe that would make a difference if we didn't grow up in the same house. But for the most part, no, we don't do that. Cutting people off and trying to exclude them. KK says, be like when celebs marry, they still have their stage name. So reporting people will know their stage name rather than their married name. It's easier to get what do you call it? It's easier to rank in the algorithm, I guess you can call it, for people to know exactly who you're talking about. Because I don't know the Royals family's last name. That's a bit awkward. But yeah, if they changed Meghan Markle's last name to the prince's last name, I wouldn't know who they're talking about. I didn't know Meghan Markle before she started to dating the prince, to tell you the truth. So let me not start lying here. Okay, Betsy says, I believe that's called Irish twins if you're 15 months or less apart. Is that what it's called? Yeah, we will be 12 months apart. 12 months and 6 days. He's older than me. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be. I mean, I guess you can do the things, but yeah, I think it's crazy. Tiny, but I like having close siblings. I think when I have children, I will want them to be not 1 year apart, but maybe like 18 months to 3 years apart when I have kids. Okay. Tanya D says, yep, Irish twins. That's what it's called. McGuffer says, I was just about to say Irish twins. Okay, you guys are talking about that. Who said Kate says, oh my, some of my brothers are only 11 months apart. My mom was either conceiving or receiving. I can't. You guys are hilarious. You guys are hilarious. Yeah, I never considered that we was Irish twins, but I guess that does make sense. I guess we are. Tanya D says, my dad and aunt are exactly 1 year apart, but the kicker is they have different dads. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I know people, this is completely off stream topic. I don't know how we got here, but I know people that are like 6 months apart because they have different moms, same dad, different moms. So they might be running into a little issue like Meghan and Samantha here, right? Data for Insight says, I have a friend who is 13 months apart from her brother, and they were born on the same day of the month. Interesting. Me and my brother's birthday are literally 6 days apart. My older sister and my younger sister's birthdays are literally 7 days apart, and they're 7 years apart. And then on top of that, they technically switched birthdays. Like my older sister was supposed to be born on the younger sister's birthday, but came late. My younger sister was supposed to be born on the older sister's birthday, but came early. So they would have had the same birthdays if they were born. One of them were born on the right day. They would have had the same birthday. Who said Kate says, yes, my mama was the queen of delivering Irish twins. How many children did she have back to back like that? Oh, that would stress me out so much. Oh, because when it was us, it was like what? 3 under 5? 3 under 4. That just gives me anxiety. Because I know how we were. Tiny D said, you would be a great mom, Bri. Thank you. I hope so. It's still scary. Betsy says, I just Googled Irish twins. Technically, it's 12 months or less. Okay, so I just beat it by 6 days. Jennifer Miller says, being a parent is scary, but I love it. I think that's what I will find when I finally do get to that point. But for now, I'm just gonna stay afraid. Okay. Definitely hijacked my stream again. Definitely hijacked my stream. Okay, Deanna Duong said, my kids are 18 months apart exactly to the day. Both were accidents. Aren't we all? Aren't we all accidents at this point? Most of us are. I think most humans are accidents. People were not planning on having them. It gets even worse, like what Jennifer said, when it's a birth control baby, because that's a super accident. You were trying to prevent it and it just happened. You just couldn't avoid it at that point. But I think most people are like accident babies for sure. McGruffin says, Tanya D, is there a special occasion 9 months before that? I tease my brother because he's a product of... Yes, that is a thing as well. I think me and my brother are I think I'm giving too much information. I think me and my brother are like Valentine's babies. And then my sisters, are they somebody's birthday? No, I don't think so. Maybe anniversary baby. So, okay. We have Jennifer saying 3 of my kids are August babies and their birthdays are each 8 days apart. Me and my brother, we fall November, December, but he's at the end, I'm at the beginning, and then both my sisters fall into February. Okay. Giving out too much information here. But yeah, everybody's birthdays are super close together. And then my mom's birthday is like 5 days before my little sister's as well. So we have birthdays back to back. And then during the middle of the year, there's nothing other than my dad's. And then it goes, back-to-back birthdays. Okay, so let's get back to what we came here for. Oh, actually, I have that poll going. So let's check out what that says. I said, how many members do we need to have a special Zoom stream, which I'm probably going to do a Zoom call and then live stream it to YouTube so that the members can jump onto the live stream and give their opinions along with me, or we might just play a game. We'll see what the vote is around that time. And it looks like it won at 25. We said we should have 25 members for us to do a Zoom stream. So we got 16 more to go. So we'll see if we have some people joining the membership. Maybe we'll get there in a couple of months. Maybe we'll get there by the end of the year, but we are going to go with 25. When we get to 25 members, we're going to do the special Zoom stream. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. All right. So and her powers of as the Duchess of Sussex, the Duchess made and oh, they are petty. They're calling her the Duchess throughout this, saying like she's supposed to be higher than making these statements about somebody. That is petty. That is petty. Creative, petty, petty. I would say petty, more than creative, petty. Okay, so here we go. She claimed, amongst other things, that Miss Markle was cashing in on her fame, that her sisters had only crossed paths once. I don't know if we saw that they only crossed paths once and have never been close. I don't remember that one. Meghan appeared on CBS Oprah interview where she further defamed Miss Markle. Oh, she's referring to herself. Samantha is referring to herself as Miss Markle and calling Meghan Markle the Duchess. How rude and petty. Okay. Stated that Meghan Markle was the only child who only met Samantha a handful of times, and that Samantha only changed her surname to Markle after Meghan married Prince Harry. It's hard to read this one because I don't want to confuse us by using what the names that they're using, but I might have to so that I don't struggle so hard. All of these statements contained within the book and the CBS Oprah Winfrey interview were false, and the Duchess knew the statements were false at the time. And pretty much they're still alleging the same things. Okay. We have the Duchess did so in order to push her concocted rags to riches life story. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go through this one because I can't keep up with it with all the spread out ones. Okay, so like I said earlier, the claim causes of actions actually changed. So remember, it was defamation and then defamation by implication. And this complaint, she's alleging defamation and then injurious falsehood. So not necessarily defamation. Maybe this one is a little bit easier to claim. It says, as detailed above, the Duchess published false and defamatory statements in the book Finding Freedom, such as statements contained on 313, which states Meg didn't grow up with Samantha. She barely saw her. I don't think that's defamatory, though. I don't know if that's defamatory. I might go up and read to see how they're making the connection that she is liable for what was reading into the Finding Freedom. I might go back up and see that. Further states that the half-sisters have never been close. I think that's still opinion, though. Okay. Just trying to find the next one. These statements include information provided by the Duchess for the book Finding Freedom, such as Miss Markle was cashing in on her fame that her sister had only crossed paths once and that the two have never been close. Moreover, Duchess appeared on CBS Oprah Winfrey, where she further defamed and said she's the only child. Oh, she's literally repeating exactly what she said in the defamation one. So we're going to leave that one where it is. Let's go up to the Finding Freedom to see if they made a connection of how Meghan should be liable because of what was in Finding Freedom. And I hope I'm not making you guys dizzy by scrolling this too fast. Okay, how long is this? Okay, it's not that long, so we can probably check that out. And then let's see if I think on this one, they took out the information about the email. So let's check it out. Ultimately, on August 11, 2020, the book Finding Freedom was published, which was supposedly an unauthorized biography of the Duchess. However, the false information contained in the book came from the Duchess herself through her agent and communications secretary. The book was used by the Duchess to affirm the false narrative that she portrayed to the royal family that she supposedly lived a rags to riches storybook life, a life that took her from a humble beginning like the Cinderella to the wife of a prince like a duchess. She did not hesitate to strike back at what she mistakenly believed to be actions of Miss Markle, who is Samantha. She needed to distance herself from Samantha and to blame any and all issues on her. Really? I don't like that. I don't like that wording. in the book Finding Freedom, in which Duchess provided the information through her communication secretary. So she's basically saying that Knopf was her agent and he was her communication secretary. So whatever he delivered to that company, that was basically Meghan Markle giving them permission to publish that. Okay. So there was an entire chapter 12 starting on page 310, A Problem Like Samantha, which defamed Miss What a chapter title, A Problem Like Samantha, which defamed Miss Markle and falsely describes her ploys to gain notoriety and money from the relation with the Duchess. The trouble began with Samantha Markle. Meghan's romance with Harry had hardly been public a full 24 hours when her half-sister sensed an opportunity. Never mind that she hadn't seen her estranged half-sister for more than a decade. And they said more than a decade. Oh, they're saying the 18-19 years was from the interview. Okay. The false and defamatory statements, Samantha, who had changed her name from Yvonne and dyed her hair a fresh shade of blonde. That rhymed. Okay. The false and defamatory statements which followed not only caused harm to Miss Markle. Okay. So they completely removed the reference to the email, but just stated that the statements came from Meghan Markle to her secretary. So that's interesting. I think she would have wanted to keep the email there to show what she actually wrote. But now that she's taken away what she actually wrote, you can't say it didn't add up. But Meghan can just produce evidence of what she actually wrote to her communication secretary. Doesn't necessarily mean she gave him permission to give that information to the people that wrote the book. All right. We have Who Said Kate says, Lord, please, my bonus kids were in college with lives when my kitties were born. I always made sure they knew who their brother and sister were. And now they're all like ducks in a pond. That's amazing. That's good. When you're able to raise children that have a good relationship, that is amazing. I'm happy that my siblings and I are very close. Kelly Miller says, oh, okay, I get it now. All the Markle in the case is so confusing. Yeah, I see why they did it. It's kind of to be petty, honestly, but it's creative, but I don't like it. Jennifer Miller says it is confusing and probably unnecessary. Right, exactly. Data for Insight says, Samantha kept going to the tabloids and on Piers Morgan's show to say silly things about Meghan. One could argue Meghan might have more grounds to sue than Samantha. That's possible. Like I said, I haven't kept up with them enough to know exactly what's going on. I don't think we're going to have time to get into the actual second motion to dismiss. Like I said, it's going to be a little repetitive. I think we got the majority of the meat in the first two articles. So I think I'm just going to go through chats now. And then probably next week, we'll cover one of those copyright or trademark lawsuits that we talked about on Tuesday. So yeah, there's that. Data for Insights. Oh, I think I already read that one. McGuffey says, oh yeah, like we can say what we want to each other, but if you're not related, you can't say things about my nut jobs. That's yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I think a lot of people are like that. We have Hella Swanky saying rags to riches. She was raised in Black Beverly Hills and went to private school. Yeah, that's not really rags to riches, but Samantha keeps using that. She keeps using it. Who Said Kate says, when someone reaches out to Piers Morgan, red flag signal. McGuffer says, I think they should settle this with a multiple injunction to never talk to each other again. Yeah, they can't really do that. They don't like to put like a ban on being able to speak. So that's why we have like anti-slap and things like that. Upside Down says, Samantha needs to get these sour grapes out of her mouth. Pathetic role model. Yeah, I don't know where she's getting her standing for this. Like I said, a lot of this stuff comes off as more opinions to me. So I'm not really understanding why she's suing for it other than she wants the attention. My opinion. We have Chelsea Allen, welcome to the live stream, saying, I'm behind a little. Me, my sister, and mom's birthday are really close. So my mom bought a pink tree that she put up around our birthdays when our birthday gifts underneath. Oh, that's nice. That is amazing. That's a cool idea. Well, good for you with your little Christmas birthday tree. Right? Hello Swanky says, how do they know where the info came from? Yeah, I don't know how they got the email, if that's what you're referring to. All right. And we have Sage Moon saying, no, I haven't. I just looked them up though. Their buds look comfy. Oh, you guys are talking about the earphones. Little Galaxy 56, the siblings had trouble with the way Meghan treated their father. But it seems like she's more talking about herself in this one. And how could she treat, are we talking about after she was in adulthood, how she treated her father, or while she was a child, how she treated her father? So a lot can come at play when you're talking about kid and parent relationships. Okay, we have McGuffer saying the email came out in UK court and MM had to admit to perjury. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll have to look. I think I did read something about that actually. But it's just so much information, right? McGuffer says not like Amber Heard level perjury, but okay, maybe that's the reference that people were making to her, because some people did comment on my last video saying that Meghan Markle is not so clean herself. Okay. Sage Moon says, okay, you guys are talking about headphones. Little Galaxy says all the times. Oh, Swanky says bars. I don't know what you're referring to. Okay. Who's that case says, I don't use the court as a weapon against my personal vendettas for my bio family. It's my beef. They'll never get it. And that's my stuff to deal with. Okay. I think that was a response to someone in the chat. And so, like I said, I don't think we're going to cover the second motion to dismiss. I might look at it a little bit later to see if there is anything in there that we might cover at the beginning of the next stream. I completely forgot to talk about the R. Kelly stuff, but maybe I shouldn't talk about it to avoid my channel being kind of pushed down, because I've been getting a lot of yellow flags on my monetization lately because of some of the topics that we talk about are not, I guess, YouTube friendly, if you want to call it that. But yeah, there was a ruling, or not a ruling, the sentencing for R. Kelly. He got 30 years. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that case and if you would be interested in talking about that case. He still has another, I don't think he's gone to trial for the Chicago case, but he just got sentenced in another state. I can't remember the state off the top of my head, but sentenced for 30 years in prison for SA against these women, and for trafficking as well. He got 30 years, which I think is reasonable if they found that it was true that he did those things. I watched Surviving R. Kelly, and I think it's true that he did those things. A court was able to prove that it was true that he did those things. So I think that 30 years is very reasonable. Okay. We have Who Said Kate says Samantha needs help. Courts is not the answer. Therapy. Yes, therapy. That is the answer. Jennifer Miller says, I think R. Kelly might be a channel squasher. You might want to avoid it. I think it's an interesting case though. But yeah, I've been getting little yellow flags. Some of them go away, some of them stay. You guys are talking. Okay. Data for Insight says R. Kelly case is heavy and might not be worth a ding to your channel. My opinion. He is a lost man who did terrible things. Yep, exactly. So yeah, I wanted to mention it a little bit. I wasn't going to do like a full story on him, but I did want to mention it at the beginning. But we got into this case, which took kind of a lot of time because we had several documents. So I think this was a better thing to cover as well. But I do want to see some of your comments real quick about R. Kelly, and then I'll probably, log off, take a break, figure out where my fiance is, so I can eat. Hello Swanky says, okay, you guys are talking about you guys having a whole conversation about earbuds. Tanya D says, I think his team should be held responsible as well because they all knew what he was doing. And some of them, my speculation, might have participated as well. So I agree with you there, Tanya. We have McGuffer saying YouTube is insane. You can't say the words SA when you're talking about a case, but you can have a channel where you spout misogyny and other garbage. This is true. I've come across a couple of lady channels that are misogynistic. I'm like, are you guys serious, or is this a joke? Is this a joke? Like some women think that women should not be in places of power. I'm just like, is this not 2022? Am I not supposed to be a lawyer because I'm a lady? I don't like it. Okay. We have Hello Swinkies agreeing with Tanya, saying 1,000% agree. They should all be charged. That should be the case for any team that protected the predator. Yeah, I agree with you guys there. Who Said K says, I feel so bad for the victims of R. Kelly. R. Kelly is tragically sad all around. He did. I watched that documentary during law school, actually. I think it was during like a testing week, like a final or a midterm maybe, and I watched it all night. Like I didn't wait the whole day. I watched the whole thing fully through in the couple of hours that it was recorded, and I should have been asleep. It was like 4 a.m., but I'm like, I have to watch this. This is ridiculous, because I didn't know about it. I was young. I didn't know about it like that, but I think it's ridiculous, and I think it's ridiculous that parents will put their children in those situations to try to help them get famous. Data for Insight says, so frustrating how YouTube isn't even on how they deal with things at all. Yeah, YouTube is, they just kind of do their own thing and hope you guys don't leave the platform. Hello Swinky says, oh, I was saying they claim Meghan Markle gave and approved the info, but what proof do they have? Exactly. That's where their argument is kind of stopped right there. Like, she may have said those things in the email, but did she say those things in order for the secretary, communicator, or whatever they called him, to then give it to those people to write the story? Because they're saying that this book was not authorized by Meghan Markle. So they would have to prove that. They would have to submit proof that she put that out there in order for it to be written by those people. So they'll have to trace the statements. And then in this new complaint, they completely leave out the, I'm not going to say completely because I haven't read it all the way, but it seems like they leave out the reference to the email altogether. Upside Down says, I'm over YouTube, Iron Curtain on speech. We have to talk in code about crimes that affect women, men, and children writing on the wall. Yes, exactly. We do have to talk in code, or else you get the yellow flag. Even when you do talk in code, you could still get the yellow flag. So, which basically just means they say your video is not suitable for ads. So you don't get as many ads when you talk about those things. Okay. We have Hello Swinky saying, bars, what you say when someone is rapping. Oh, yeah. I know. You said Yvonne and Blonde. Oh, well, I was reading that one. So this attorney is rapping here. I was just reading that one. Said it rhymed, so I said bars. It's like music version of Kobe. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean, but I didn't get, you just put bars, so I didn't know what context you were talking about. I thought you were still talking about the raps from earlier, the accidental raps from earlier. Okay, Who Said Kate says, sorry, but I feel bad for R. Kelly and also feel his sentence is appropriate. It's horrible how all systems from day one failed him and his victims. Maybe I don't know enough about the case. Oh, yeah, because he was abused, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. But I feel like that doesn't give you the right to do it to someone else. I don't think that does. But I can see where you could also feel bad for him and the victims, but I feel worse for the victims. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Paul Emma said, as long as you use SA or other abbreviations for YouTube flags, you'll be fine. Ask Kurt or Rob. Okay. Low Galaxy 56 says plausible deniability, having it both ways. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Data for Insight says about Meghan and Harry, it's so curious to me how they haven't produced anything for their Spotify and Netflix deal. I wonder how those platforms really feel now. Was the investment worth it? I don't know. I'm not too familiar with that. But it sounds like they contracted with them to do some type of show or series or something like that. I would probably be mad if I'm not making the money that I was supposed to be making. McGuffert says, I'm not 100, but I didn't know anything about this until Oprah. But I believe the email may have been a forward from Harry's email. Don't quote me. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly either. Sounds like it came out in the trial, so I would have to look into that trial, and I don't have the time to do that, to tell you the truth. Okay, McGuffin says, I went to school for writing, and Netflix just giving me 100 million would be a dream for me. Yes, that would be a dream for a lot of people. I would want for Netflix to do that for me, and I don't know if I have any talent to offer them. Okay. And we have Data for Insight saying to McGruffers, I'm sure you would be working night and day to produce the contents. Yes, exactly. Okay, I think that's what you're referring to, like Meghan Markle and Harry for not really producing whatever they needed to produce. Okay, Hello Swanky says to Sage Moon, right? Ga. I hope that's not an abbreviation. I'm so tempted to try them. You got me thinking about, oh, you guys are talking about those earphones. Okay. A Data for Insight says Netflix canceled an animated thing Megan was going to do. I'm not mistaken. Okay. I see. And Who Said Kate says, I definitely feel worse for R. Kelly's victims. Okay. Yeah. Just saying who was there for him as a little boy who couldn't read and was bullied, and I'm here all day for victims. Yeah, I definitely understand how you can feel for him as well. I think his just went a little bit, well, I mean, yeah, abuse is a hard topic, honestly, especially, and I think that happens with a lot of situations, like when people are, someone told me to use red rum instead of unaliving, the M word for unaliving. Why am I doing that hand motion? The M word for unaliving, to use red rum instead. Do you guys know that reference? Are you familiar with it? But yeah, so that happens a lot with those type of cases as well. Like they went through something as a child, sometimes SA, and then they end up SAing other people, but then theirs lead up to red rumming them as well. So yes. Okay, but that is all that we have today. I think, like I said, we're probably going to do a copyright case next week, or if something else comes up over the weekend, then we might cover one of those cases. If you guys have made it this far into the stream and you have not hit the thumbs up button, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Double check to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel if you like this type of content, and if you just like chatting in the chat, because my chat is pretty cool. We have fun over here. We like to talk about things that are on topic, off topic, funny, not funny, whatever you want to talk about, right? So if you're not subscribed and you like the channel, please make sure you subscribe. And also, if you guys are in America and if you are celebrating the 4th of July, have a safe and fun 4th of July weekend and celebrate, eat all the barbecue, have all the fireworks. Don't have all the fireworks and don't start any fires. Be safe. Be safe is the number one thing I want to say, and have a great weekend. Thank you guys for joining me live, and I will catch you on the next